Hello, I'm Luke, the Hard Times Guy, and today I want to talk to you about something that's going to be upcoming on my channel, or something I'm working on. And I say it's going to be upcoming. I don't know. I may not get the details worked out like I want to. It may just flop and you never see it. But it's something that I'm going to call Waller General. Hard Times Guy, Waller General. And where that comes from is, I'm going to start talking to you about buying stuff. And there's lots of different ways to buy stuff. Some of them are too quick for this method, but this is a method that I've used most of the time that I've been a buyer and seller of whatever it was. And it's worked pretty well for me, so I thought I might introduce it to you and make a little fun thing that we can do occasionally. And it's like this. When I get ready to buy something, I like to waller it around a little bit. Very seldom does someone say, hey, I got this and it's for sale and I want this, and I say, so give me that, and just pay them. I mean, even if I should say that, even if they're making a terrible mistake and selling it too cheap, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm going to, the first thing I might think is, wow, that's way too cheap for that. I wonder why. What's wrong with it? But for whatever the reason, what I'm telling you is that I like to waller it around. That means look at it from more than one angle. Think about it in more than one way. And investigate what it is, what it's worth, why I shouldn't buy it. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the future, and I'm going to introduce a little program that I'm working on. In fact, I think I'm going to offer some things to somebody, and then let her waller with it a little bit and try this concept out on her. And depending on how that works, I'll adjust or change what I need to, and then you'll see it in an upcoming video. I just thought I better introduce that to you because at the start of this video, because I had this poster behind me that some of you may or may not notice. I think a lot of my viewers probably wouldn't even have noticed it, but I thought I'd bring it up nevertheless. I want to talk to you today, beyond that, about a couple of friends of mine. And I'm telling you they're my friends, and they might tell you I don't even know that guy. If they did that, they'd be lying, but I'm saying I'm calling them friends. I think they call me a friend. Now, they're not the kind of friends that run through a stone wall for me, but they are the kind of friends, I think, that if you were saying, yeah, I know him, he's that guy's a dirty, low-life, rotten scoundrel, they might, they're my friends. They wouldn't let you get away with that. They would say, now wait just a minute, that guy's our friend. He might be a scoundrel, but most of the time he ain't dirty, and he's not low down and rotten. So you need to rethink what you just said. They're that kind of friends. They ain't going to let you get away with abusing me, but they're not going to run through a stone wall for me either. For my part, I just love them both. Their names are Mark and Misty. And Misty is, everybody that knows her loves her. I mean, that's just how she is. She won't let you not love her. She gets right up in your face and makes you love her. And you might say, look, somebody gets right up in my face, it might annoy me. I don't know whether, and she can do that too. She can be annoying. I will attest to it. But she won't let you not love her, and I've never talked to anybody that got past that first encounter with her that didn't come away liking her. She's likable. She's fun. She's easy to love. Mark, on the other hand, he's a little bit more laid back than her. He ain't going to get up in your face. And if you're going to love him, you're going to have to spend some time trying to get to know him. He happens to be the first one of the pair that I met. They opened an antique store in the town that I live in. Actually, I live a little outside the town, but they opened an antique store in my hometown, and I was their first customer, I think. At least on the day that they advertised that their grand opening, they're going to open the store such and such a day, 9 a.m. I was standing at the door when they unlocked it and walked in. Wasn't nobody else there but me. Now, they might have sold some stuff before that, I don't know. But official open, official time, I was the first one through the door. And I spent a little money there. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to do what Misty calls in her videos a haul, H-A-U-L. When Misty goes out and buys things or makes a special trip to go somewhere with the notion of going shopping, and then she does buy something, she comes back home and she makes what she calls a haul video, H-A-U-L, and shows you what her shopping experience was and what she bought, and talks about different things and what she might have paid for them. Now, I'm going to make a little video like that about my first encounter in their store. The problem with it is I can't video it because it's done in the past. I can't tell you what I paid for stuff because I'm old and forgetful, and I can't remember what I paid for everything that I bought that day. I probably could remember some of it. I can't even tell you where it is now because some of it's gone. I sold some of it and can't tell you what I bought and what I got for it. But anyway, I got pictures of it. I come home, put it on a table out here and took some pictures of it just to commemorate the morning and back even before I was making videos. And so I got some pictures, and I thought I'm going to make a little haul video on Wildflower Antiques and my first encounter with them. I started to tell you that Mark was the first one I met, and I met him probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks before the store ever opened. And I've been seeing stuff in the window, and it had been interesting to me, and I'd stopped and looked at it several times. I was going down the street one day in my truck, moving kind of slow, and looked over there, and the front door was open on the place, and I thought, well, maybe they're open, or maybe somebody's in there. So I pulled in, found me a parked place, walked down the street, looked in there, and there's this guy in there, and he is working like a barred mule, sweat pouring off of him, and he was the only one in there. So I said, hey, what's going on here? And he walked up, began to tell me what was going on. They had bought this building. They were redoing everything, and I think what he was doing that day was knocking plaster off the brick walls, and we had a little discussion about what they intended to do and what was going on. He told me they was going to open an antique business there, and he didn't know exactly when, but they'd be announcing it in the future. And that was my first encounter with Mark, and it was a good one. I went away from there liking the guy, and he ain't done nothing since that caused me to change my mind. First impression was a good one. I need to mention another person too. Probably ought to mention two, but I'm going to leave Misty's mom out of it because she moved away to Florida. But Misty's dad, I can't leave him out of it because he's become my friend too. His name's Ken, and he happens to live upstairs in an apartment above their antique shop. Took them a while to get him down there from Anderson, but they finally did, and he's been I met him, and I'd call him my friend too. He's a salty little guy and loves to get out and pick and find old stuff, and he and I had a couple of little picking adventures together, and we like to sit around and talk about old times and when things were good in the picking world, and things that we've done and things that we've seen, and even met another one of his friends that's become my friend too. His name's John. But I wanted to mention them here before I went on with this video. This video's, I don't know, I've been wallering this video around. I started out to have it be one thing, and it looks like now it's going to be something else, and in the middle I thought I'd combine it with another thing that happened yesterday and make that video out of it, but I'm not going to. That'll have to be its own video if I do anything with what happened yesterday. It's been, I don't know how many days, 3 or 4 days, maybe 5 since I started this video, and I ran into some technical difficulty that I'll not get into, but I had to stop, and then now I've restarted it. I tried to make it look the same, but it can't look the same. I'm shooting from a different angle. My sign changed a little bit. I got the same shirt on. I went and got the shirt that I had on the other day. At least I think it is. I think this is that shirt, but if it isn't, it's pretty close. But I decided to narrow this. This video is going to be too long to be anything else but a haul video about my first trip to Wildflower Antiques and the things that I bought that day. I'm sitting in my room that I call, a lot of people call this my man cave. My wife calls it our family gathering room. I call it all kinds of things. There's a sign over there that calls it Moon's Room. There's one up on the wall there that calls it Sojourner's Retreat. And I think I've even got a man, yeah I do, there's a man cave sign. Yeah, I don't know what that sign is over there. There's the man cave sign on that chalkboard. But anyway, this is a 40 by 36 room that I built in 2012, and probably I should have built it when I was a young man. I couldn't afford it when I was a young man, but we have lots of our family things here, and I don't know how we did without this room before I built it, but it's also full of my junk. I get to be the decorator of this room, and my wife doesn't get to overrule me out here, so I enjoy being in the room, and a lot of the stuff that I bought on that first day is still in the room, and as I look around I see other things that I bought from Wildflower Antiques over time that I added to that group of things that's in the room. There's an ice cream sign hanging up over there that I bought, and I don't know, first one thing to another around here that I bought from them. There's things in the house that I bought from them too, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to talk about the things that I bought the first time I was there, and one of the things was a Becker's tin, T-I-N. It was a 5-gallon tin, and it said Becker's on it. It had good colors. Probably you're going to be looking at the tin while I'm talking. I bought that first day, and I don't have it anymore, regretfully. In fact, I got seller's remorse about selling that. I was having a yard sale out here one day, and that tin was sitting up on a shelf over there with some of my other favorite stuff, and some guy named Becker happened along at my yard sale. I don't know if his name was Becker or his mother-in-law's name was Becker, but the name Becker snagged him, and he wanted to know what I wanted for that tin. I had a price guide made up, and I got to looking for what I wanted for that tin, and when I looked it up, I thought, wow, I was proud of that, and I shot him a price out of that I'd already decided I wanted for it, and it was too much. The price was one of them, I like this tin, don't want to sell it prices, and that's the price I had in my book, but I told him what it was, and he tried to get me to come off that price a little bit and make it easier on him. I said, no, I just admitted to him I like that tin probably about as well as you do. And so he just pulled out his billfold and held the money out. And what are you going to do then? I can't, the worst thing that a person could do to me is crawfish after they said something. And so I ain't about to do it. I had to sell him my tins. It's gone. Don't even have it anymore. And I'm looking at this. I'm thinking in my mind, I got it on my computer over there. Should have set my computer in that chair where I could look at it, but I'll just wing it from here. There's a screen door protector. Come off a storm door. You know how they made them aluminum things and had a big initial in the middle of it, M, or for your name or whatever. They put them on them aluminum storm doors. They had had a big Cocker Spaniel in the middle of it, and if you know anything about me, you know I like bird dogs, and Cocker Spaniels, most people don't think of them as bird dogs. They've been most of the hunt been bred out of them, and when you see one, it's usually somebody's snappy little house pet. But I did have a privilege of grouse hunting behind one that was a hunting dog one time, and it was a wonderful experience, and I was always glad to have got to hunt with that little dog, and had a new appreciation for the Cocker Spaniel breed. So when I seen this screen door protector they had, you're looking at it there in the video, I bought it. So it was one of the things I bought that first day. There's a tobacco tin there, chewing tobacco, I think, that I bought. I still have that. It's around here somewhere. I'm not sure where. There's a little oak. I don't know what to call that. A lot of people call those a paint bucket, and I think originally when you bought them they had something in them. I don't know if it was paint or not, but little oak bucket, and I still have it. And I'd even forgotten that I bought it that day when Wildflower Antiques opened, until I started making this video and looked them pictures up and found a little bucket in there. And that bucket right now is down at the Antique Mall in my booth for sale. I'm going to fix that probably today. I'm going to go down there and get that. I decided I don't want to sell that either. I don't want to sell a price on it, I think, but I just don't want to sell it. I'm going to go get it. So that little bucket you're looking at, I bought it from them that day. I think you can see them in that video, or in this picture. There's 3 cork guns. If you can't see them very good in that picture, I might, before I get done making this video, go over on the wall where I got them hanging, take another picture of them. But kind of guns that little child toy, wooden handles, metal gun. You bend them in the middle like that to cock them, and they had corks in them, and had a thing that just come out there and shot that cork out, and you wouldn't shoot very far, maybe 10 feet at the most. You couldn't hit nothing with it any further away than 3 or 4 feet. But when you was a kid, you had one of them. They don't make stuff like that anymore, because too many mean little boys had their sister put the finger in the end of that thing, and then they shot it, and that thing come up there and broke their fingernail and hurt their, got them swollen. If I had one as a kid, my mom would have probably destroyed it over one of us kids doing that, but I don't think we ever had one of them. Anyway, 3 little cork guns I bought from them, and I say that I thought at the time that was one of their mistakes. When they first opened that, they had a way too cheap a price on those. I've got another one over there too. It's hanging up there with 2 of the ones I got from them. It's a double barrel, and it's still got the corks and the strings with it. It's the best one I got, but I didn't get it from them. I bought it somewhere else, and I had to pay quite a bit more for it than I paid for theirs. But that's neither here nor there. They's opened up a new shop, a lot of things to do, and that just happens sometimes. You just underprice stuff, somebody else gets a bargain. I got a bargain that day. Also in that group of things is a little chair, and that chair may be around here somewhere too. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can even see it well enough in that picture to know whether I still have it or not, because I like little chairs like that, and I've got 5 or 6 of them. and I've probably had others that I've bought and sold since I bought that one. So maybe I got that little chair, maybe I don't. I might look and see if I can figure that out when I get on making this video. Also in that video is a robin egg blue, or pretty close to robin egg blue, box, about, I don't know, 16, 18 inches cube box with 5 or 6 drawers in it, and it's pretty grungy looking. And if you know anything about me, you know that I really love that little box. I like them grungy looking little boxes with lots of drawers in them, and that one was a great color. It wasn't as old as I like some of them to be. Part of it was made out of plywood, and back when I first started doing it, you know, we held our nose that anything had plywood in it. It's too new. But, you know, I got over that over the years because stuff like that got harder and harder to find, and that little box is something that I'd like to have around, and I've got several of them around here kind of like that. That particular one's gone. You know, so another same kind of deal. Guy come through the yard sale. I think it's a woman though. She seen that little box. She loved it, and asked me what I wanted for it, and I told her, and she bought it. It's gone. I don't have it anymore. I don't know what else might be in that picture. But license plates. There's some license plates in there. I bought. I don't know how many license plates I bought. There's at least 2 of them in there, and I can tell by looking at them what the 2 they are and why I bought them. One of them's 1947. I bought it because I was born in 1947. Another one is 1954. I bought it because I got a sister who lives in Texas. She was born in 1954. And I bought that license plate. Later on, I told her I had it, and she said she'd like to have it, and I sent it to her, Texas. So she's got it hanging on a wall somewhere, and I'm glad she does. I don't know whether it's the one that you're seeing in that picture or not, because I've got some other 1954 license plates around here, I think, but I'm pretty sure that one that you're seeing in the picture is the one that my sister got. I could find out, I guess. But at any rate, and there's one more thing. It's not in that picture, but I'm going to tell you about it. There was what's called a banjo steering wheel. And a banjo steering wheel is an old steering wheel off of a 40s, probably. It could have been as old as 1930s car. And it had the supports that went out from the outside into the horn area. The center hub of the steering wheel looked like banjo strings. And those are still good property if you can find them. Anybody that needs one for a car, that you got one that's like that, for the car they're looking for, it's big bucks, but you know, most of the time you just got them as wall hangers, hang them on the wall. And I bought that day. It's not here either, but it's somewhere because my son-in-law wanted it. When he found out I was going to be down there that day, he couldn't be there that time, or he'd have been there with me, but he said they got that banjo steering wheel hanging in on the wall in the window. He said, get that for me. And so I did, and he still got it. Now, that was my first encounter with Mark. Actually, my first encounter with Mark, I've already talked about. My first encounter with them and their business, Wildflower Antiques, was on that day. And a lot has happened since then. I heard Misty saying not too long ago that her and Mark was in that business for 5 years, and I guess she should know better than I do, but if it was 5 years, it's just now getting to be 5 years, I think. They might have bought that building that long ago, but I went to Sturgis, South Dakota. I went to the Deadwoods where I went, but I went through Sturgis too. I went the whole trip out there when I was out there. South Dakota in 2015, and I know that because I bought a Sturgis road sign that says 2015 that's hanging on that door over there. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago I was out there, but it was, and that's 5 years ago. And I bought that sign at a Harley Davidson dealer. And today, while I was thinking about making this video and what I was going to say, I seen a Harley Davidson plastic bag hanging over there. Came from the same trip. It's what they put that sign in that day. So that sign, or that Harley Davidson plastic bag, shows up in the picture I took of that stuff that I brought back from Misty and Mark's antique shop. And so it was 2015 that they opened their store, and it was probably getting pretty close to this time of year. It might have been August or September, but it's after I went to Sturgis, and I was thinking I went to Sturgis in August or September. I hated it when Mark and Misty decided to close the Wildflower Antiques because it was, you know, it was just a part of my routine on Friday or Saturday to stop in there and say hi to them. And usually, a lot of times I'd see Ken there as well. Now I don't see him there as often anymore, especially since Misty. Let me back up. When they decided to close the place, it was like in January. They'd had a big Christmas. I don't know. I'm saying they had a big Christmas. I don't have any idea what kind of numbers that their store generated in Christmas, but you know, December's usually a good month for that kind of business. And Misty, she puts a lot of effort in stuff like that, and she had I'd hate to say how many Christmas trees she had in there. I'd say at least 6, maybe more than that. And the place all decorated up, and she did that as a part of what went on at the store. She did it at Christmas, she did it at Halloween, she did it all the time. But when you think about that number of just Christmas trees, plus all the other decoration that she had for the season, and then it's all over with, and you're in that slow time of the year that January and February are, and not generating much business, and you got all that work to do to undo all that decorating. And I was up there the day, I think, that they come to the decision. You could tell that they'd been talking about stuff and being discouraged a little bit about maybe what the business was doing, and based on what their expectations for it were, I think, versus not really whether or not they could afford to keep it open or not. They just expected it, I think, when they first opened to be different than what it was. And I know that over the years that they were open, I had some conversations with them about things that about the business and things that you could do to make it better, ideas that you might have to promote business. And of course, what I didn't ever say to them, because I didn't want to discourage them, was, hey, this is a tough business, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. In Bedford, Indiana, you got so much of a market, and it's just hard to run this kind of a business on a downtown square in a place like Bedford, and have it meet your expectations. Because I didn't want to be a discourager, I wanted to be an encourager. But I mean, there's just so much you can do, and that's kind of what they were up against. I think they did everything they could have done, and some innovative things that a lot of people hadn't even thought of. You know, there's still tracks all around the internet of things that Misty tried to do to promote that business, not just her business, but everybody's business downtown. And she did a heck of a job with what she had to do with it. It's, you know, hard place to succeed. But at any rate, that day, like I said, they'd been talking about stuff because they ran a proposal by me that had to do with me having a little spot in the front of the store or something, taking over some space and helping them out with it, and they thought that might attract some business in there. And I still, without wanting to discourage them, I thanked them for their confidence and for their offer, but I didn't want to do it. And the reason I didn't want to do it is I didn't want to work that hard for what it was going to bring me. And they were willing to work a lot harder than I was. So I said no, and I never had no idea that the next thing they were going to do was, and I don't know still how it come about, but that evening it was on Facebook or somewhere that they were going to close the store. And it come about from sometime that afternoon when they were asking me to be a part of keeping it open that evening when they'd made the decision to close it. And closing a store like that is, well, a lot of times people just have a great big sale and then they ship it off to some other place where another store like theirs. When you're a retail outlet and you've got that, other stores like yours in the area, there's ways to close places down like that. But when you own all the inventory and it's your store, and you got the wide variety of inventory that they had, from furniture right down to little bitty things that you could buy for a quarter, but that's quite an undertaking. And what's happened since then with what they came up with to sell the thing, when I first heard what they were going to do, and I don't think it's probably Misty's idea, but I know Mark was a part of it too, because he had talked to me before about people that sold stuff with live sales online, and one of the people that he mentioned to me was a crazy lamp lady, and he got me to watching her, and I was pretty much amazed at some of the things that she did and the way she sold stuff. But it just blew my socks off when Misty started doing it. She started doing it, and what she did it with was stuff that had been sitting in that antique store since the first day I walked in. She would go in there and sit down and have stuff all spread out on the table. She had her system for doing it. She'd explain that to you. And she'd hold up something that had the price tag on it that you could have bought it for the last 5 years in that store. I mean, I don't know what retail is if I didn't retail. She'd hold it up with that retail price on it, say this is number 6, and I want $15 for it, or I want $8 for it, or whatever that price was. And before she set it back down again, she had 15 people typing in number 6, saying I want that. And it just, I watched her videos in amazement for, I don't know, several weeks at how she sold every bit of that stuff that had been sitting in that store all that time. And it's just the difference in what the market is. The market on the internet versus the market walking down I Street in Bedford, Indiana, and taking a right or a left into that store. But I said all that to say this. She'd become a rock star. And that's not a small exaggeration of the people that do what she does, and there's lots of them. But of the ones that do that, I mean, she's right up there with the best of them about people watching her videos and people buying her stuff off the internet. What is it? ThrifterJunkerVintageHunter. Misty Pay. And she went from sitting down there and holding that stuff up with the expectation of hopefully getting rid of some of it, helping them liquidate what they had in that store, to today she's an online live video maker who goes out and buys it, makes a video and shows you how she bought it, tells you what she paid for it, and then puts it on there with a different price on it and sells it all to the same audience. I mean, that concept just amazes me that you can do that. And I'm not surprised that a lot of other people are trying to do it, and a lot of people are succeeding at it, and some people aren't doing so good. I've thought about it myself, but then and I'm glad I got Misty to look at, because I can see how busy she is. And I've done some of that other stuff that she does in the background too. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of work and a lot of planning and a lot of coordinating to do what she does. And she's just so busy. She likes what she's doing. It's a good thing, because she don't have hardly any time to do anything else. And but I congratulate her. My hat's off to her. Great job. And glad I got to know her. She's one of the few rock stars that I ever met in person. Thrifter, junker, vintage, hunter. I can say she's my friend. Anyway, I about wore this subject out. Haven't done a lot of the things that I usually do in my videos. Don't know whether this qualifies, because there's some of this stuff that's near and dear to me. Just because of Mark and Misty and my kids, they need to know that one of these days when they're deciding what to do with this stuff. Now they got a story about some of it. They got the story about Sturgis. They got the story about that oak bucket. They got some stories about stuff that I sold and I shouldn't have sold. And when they get tired of looking at stuff, they can play this video and decide whether they want to sell it or not sell it. But I'll tell them right now, the Hard Times guy signing off. Watch my videos. Subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned, because we're going to get here again with this Waller General business probably pretty soon. And that's going to be fun too. There's going to be stuff that you can buy, and we'll talk about buying stuff and selling stuff some more. But until the next time, it's the Hard Times guy signing off. Have a good day.